So this manual for learning the basic features of reading the Arabic language for Quranic use is one of the most accessible manuals that I've actually ever seen. It's what we have on the market, unfortunately, at the moment is a range of inaccessible manuals, which we can't actually, doesn't have the scaffolding that is required in order to maneuver someone from a stage where they don't know how to read to a stage where they can actually feel comfortable reading. This is one of those manuals which is extremely accessible, is carefully paced, structured, and it has all these kinds of features, once again, pedagogical features, which will bring people from a stage where they don't know things to being able to read the Quran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you guys doing? I'm here joined with the beast, the Dawah beast. He is a man who has created a legacy for himself, even though he doesn't like to be in front of the camera. Zishan.
You know that never gets old.
Yeah. How's it going now?
How's Ramadan going?
It's all right, you know. Alhamdulillah, we're trying.
SubhanAllah. Yeah. Good. So, Hijab, what do you have for us today?
All right. So basically, I've always wanted to do a response to this guy, right? This guy, Ken Ham, who is a young age creationist. And just to give people a background as to what young age creationism is, it's a group of Protestants, for the most part, right, who believe that the universe is 6,000 years old based on the accounts of Genesis chapter 5, and because of other things. For example, what church fathers have said, majority of which probably would concur with that view. And many of the kind of scholars of Christianity throughout the Reform period, etc. Okay. So they have a strong case from their own paradigm. In fact, they have probably the winning case from their own paradigm. But what that entails, believing that the universe is 6,000 years, is denial of certain things which we may think are undeniable. So I wanted to look at today what he thinks about dinosaurs.
Okay, interesting. Dinosaurs. Well, dinosaurs are quite a million years old. Oh, it can't be. Sorry, my bad. 6,000 years old. 5,550.
Let's take a look.
What really happened to the dinosaurs?
Many people are perplexed by the topic of dinosaurs. Where did they come from? When did they live? What happened to them? You see, when you dig up a dinosaur skeleton, it doesn't come with a label attached saying, "Hi, I'm 65 million years old, and this is what happened to me." We have to interpret that skeleton in relation to the past. So where did dinosaurs come from? What happened to them? When did they live? I want to show you that when you take God at his word in the book of Genesis, that we can explain dinosaurs, and observational science actually confirms that explanation based upon the Bible.
So, but by the way, he redefines everything, right? So when he talks about observational science, he's talking about what we observe. He denies the fact that any inference can be made from science. So for him, he writes this in his book. He's written a book on this, and he talks about, he's got his own kind of categorizations. Ken Ham does. And the thing is, to be honest, it's not like there's no scope in Christianity for saying that the yom, because the word yom is actually used in the Quran and also used in the Genesis account as well. So it's exactly the same word. In Hebrew is yom. Could mean a long period of time. But for them, it's not that. It's Genesis chapter 5, right? Which talks about, because what if you look at Genesis chapter 5, you'll see it's like Adam, and then his son was this person, and then his son was, it's a genealogy.
And they have dates?
And then I have dates, like each, so it's like every person's like 130 years between the first person, 100 and whatever years. And so they add it up. So this person called Usher, Bishop Usher, famously, he found out when the beginning of the world was and so on. So this is where he's coming from. And it's true to say the vast majority, if not I think all of them except for the Alexandrian school of church fathers, believed would concur with this. If not, they didn't have anything to say about it. But the reformist kind of theologians and stuff, they believed in that as well. So 6,000-year-old thing, it might seem trivial to us now, we're having a laugh, but this was, I would say, the vast majority opinion in Christendom.
So it's an Orthodox belief?
It's an Orthodox belief, yes.
Interesting.
See, the Bible tells us that God made the land animals on day 6 of creation. And who else was created on day 6? Well, Adam and Eve. And how long ago was that?
Sorry. It's really interesting because the Bible does talk about the kind of day by day creation. Everyone knows this. The thing is, it's so contradictory. Like when you open, it's not only it's contradictory to the external reality or archaeological or paleontological evidence, but it's contradictory with itself. Like for example, in the Bible, it says that day and night were created on the first day, and that on day 4, on day 4 the luminaries were created. So the sun and all these kinds of things were created, right? And so the question would be, how can you have night and day without the sun, right? How can you have? And then you talked about the vegetation, right?
Yeah, vegetation.
And that was created vegetation on in Genesis chapter 1 verse 11. That was created on the 4th day, I think it was, or whatever 3rd day of Mount, right? But then in Genesis chapter 2 verse 5, no plant had sprung up yet. So you have contradictions within, and so much so that Origen of Alexandria, who is an allegorist for the most part, he spiritualized the meanings of the text. He looked at it and said, what man of intelligence, and I'm going to put these references in the comment section below, what man of intelligence would believe that the luminaries were created on the 4th day and that the night and day were created on the 1st day? So you have internal contradictions, and then you have external problems as well. So this has led these kinds of people to just stick to their guns and say, it must be science that's wrong, it must be history that's wrong, it must be paleontology that's wrong, it must be archaeology that's wrong, all of those things are wrong, and we are right.
That's interesting. I think there's a little bit of credit needs to be given, because they didn't feel insecure. They said, no, the Bible is true.
I do agree, yeah.
However, the fact that you accept Bible to be true shows that the Bible is not true.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so for example, they're saying, look, we're not going to go and be like changing words, God's word. We're going to stick to it. But the fact that you stick to it shows that it's not the word of God. It's interesting.
Paradox.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when you add up all the dates in the Bible, about 6,000 years. So taking God at his word in Genesis, dinosaurs lived beside people about 6,000 years ago. And they were vegetarian to start with. Genesis chapter 1 verse 29 tells us that all the animals were vegetarian. But then
Now,
Adam
can we just say one more thing, bro, about this guy?
Yeah.
Answers in Genesis is one of the most well-funded organizations in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Okay. When I looked at the numbers, I think the turnover was something like 100 million charity turnover. 100 million. That's 1/10 of £1 billion. There's no dawah organization on the face of the earth which comes close to that. Comes close to that. And these guys have a museum. Okay, they have a museum where they depict Adam and Eve and the dinosaurs side by side. These kinds of things, bro. But we could watch a little bit more of this. What can we say? Because we were just having a conversation about this before the show. Christianity is based on the resurrection, isn't it? And if you believe in the resurrection, it's a historical event.
Yes.
So really, if you don't believe in it, you're doomed to hellfire. Let's be honest. That is the mainstream Christian belief, right? So if you're doomed to hellfire for not believing in a historical event, if you have skepticism, think of it this way: if you have skepticism towards a historical event, which in this case is the resurrection, and if you employ the same skepticism to the date of 6,000 years, one of those types of historical skepticism will take you to hell. In the case of believing that the universe is 6,000 years, that's not a problem. But believing that having historical skepticism of the resurrection, that one will take you to hell.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you have to be certain as hell of the resurrection, or you go hell. It's the truth that you have to be certain as hell. If you're not certain as hell, you're going hell. No, that's what it is. And then when it comes to this, and the thing is, it just shows you the contradiction, the hypocrisy. And to be honest, some people come to us. We speak to people in the park in the speakers corner, and they come to us and say, the resurrection is for certain.
And that's wouldn't you say from your experience dealing with people that could be the central argument for the veracity of Christianity? They want to prove Christianity through the resurrection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If that's their central argument, it's a historical argument, right?
Yeah.
So on the one hand, we can't be skeptical when it comes to these reports, contradictory reports in the New Testament about the resurrection, which, by the way, on historical analysis, methodological naturalism is supreme. So we can't even say that supernatural things happen, if we want it to be completely, in line with secular reasoning, which we're not. We can give it to them, no problem. But at the end of the day, we can't be skeptical of the resurrection. But you can be skeptical to the entire enterprise of archaeology and the entire enterprise of paleontology and the entire enterprise of history. And one of those types of skepticism will lead you in an eternal doom and burning in the hellfire. And the other one won't.
Yeah, exactly. And that's beautiful. about Islam, alhamdulillah, at the end of the day,
Yes.
Allah doesn't test, like it's Christianity, you deny the resurrection, it's finished for you. Islam, alhamdulillah, Allah says we do not punish a nation until we send a messenger. Islam is very unique in that, subhanAllah, that no one will be punished unless because it's the mercy of God. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people come to me with the resurrection thing and they're very certain about it. And they're like, oh, the Quran came down 600 years later and changed the whole narrative. And to me, in a nutshell, if the Quran is the word of God, and who knows best history but God, so if the Quran is the word of God and Allah is saying that Jesus, peace be upon him, was not killed nor crucified, but Allah saved him, I'm going to go with that. So if there's Christians watching this, at the end of the day, if you're going to put your trust in this, if you're going to not deny the resurrection, there's absolute hypocrisy with the whole Genesis account. So to us is, if you read the book of the Quran and if you believe it to be God, and there's evidences that prove that, and you've done many books, you've released a book.
I've got a booklet, which I'm
well.
going to put it on the description box as well for the evidences for the truth of Islam.
Exactly. So then who knows best history but God? And if God is telling you Jesus was not killed, nor was he crucified, I'm sorry, I'm taking that to account rather than this. The whole Bible. Like, I'll be honest.
Do you know what you said? I think it's a good point. It was good to end with this as well.
Yeah.
That where you could make the argument, if we have to believe in the resurrection to be Christians, so really Christianity is based on a historical event.
Yeah.
Whereas the difference between Christianity and Islam from that perspective is that Islam is based on a concept, and the concept is submission to one God.
Yes.
Submission. Worship one God, right? And that, I think, is the main difference between the two religions.
Yeah, exactly. So, brothers and sisters, if you're watching this as a Christian, there's books I'm sure you're going to put in the link which you can get, and read that and see for yourself. And like I said before, guys, the best person to know history and what really happened to Jesus, peace be upon him, if you go to the Bible, you're a dilemma from all angles.
Yeah, it's true.
If I reject the resurrection, which I do, I'm doomed to hell. And it's based on accounts which are, Mark, Matthew, Luke, their stories contradict each other. Yeah. So guys, if the Quran is the word of God and God knows history, which he does, he's the all-knowing, go and find out really what happened to Jesus, peace be upon him. And instead of worshipping him, worship the one who created him. And that's it. That's all. I'll end on that.
Jazakumullah khairan, bro. Pleasure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.